Hi guys, so I promised a house tour, but there's actually too many plants to do in one video, so I decided we'd start today with my dining room. I know I video here a lot, but you really only see what's behind me when I do my videos. So today we're going to take a walk around the room. I'm going to show you everything I have here, and I hope you enjoy it. Hi guys, my name is Grania and this is my channel Jungle Flowers Canada. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's get started on the tour of my dining room. First off, we have my Dieffenbachia. I'm sorry, I'm not 100% sure what one it is, but I love it and it doesn't get much light at all. It's like literally, look, there's no window here, there's no light over it, but it seems to be quite happy in this lower light condition, and I'm sure if it was in higher light it would get much bigger, but isn't she really beautiful? I love the markings on the leaves. So that's my first plant, my Dieffenbachia. This here is funny guys, I took a cutting and this wasn't doing great. It's a Philodendron tenue, and I do have a top cutting of it out in my greenhouse. And this was just the base of it, so I just left it to see what's going to happen with it. And let's hope. It's a beautiful plant when it matures, if I can ever get it to that stage. And this is another sad story. So I used to have a huge, just regular subfasciatum here, but this is actually a variegated one, and I had it, it was totally neglected. I had it out in my greenhouse, but I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see there. There is ever so slightly variegation on this. So because it was neglected, you can see the leaves didn't unfurl properly. So I decided to give away my regular one, and I brought this in here in the hope that she will do better. Sorry, Casper is at the window again. So although she doesn't look too amazing, I'm hoping that she will in fact bounce back. You can see there's another new leaf there. Again, if we look closely, you can see that I think there will be some variegation on her. This here is my favorite anthurium. Sorry, I'm backlit there. Let me turn this way. Let me turn her actually. This is the anthurium clarinervium, and she's has beautiful thick leaves. She's gorgeous. I love her. Actually, I hear music in the background. I should actually, let me pause for a moment. Where's Troubles? Troubles. Here is my Raphidophora tetrasperma, and she is growing up. This is actually a wine rack. I did do a video of where I attached this to the wall, but can you see she's going all the way up there, and she's very happy, doesn't require much work. And you can see there she did get secondary fenestrations, which she hasn't really had any more of that I can see. So she's quite happy growing away there. Here we have my Syngonium albo. So this, I actually do need to take a cutting of this. She's quite gangly looking now, but she does have some beautiful leaves. So you can see actually here, she's got lots of aerial roots. So I think I'm going to take a cutting of her and just replant it in the bottom just to bulk her out a bit. So this is a north facing window, and I do have an overhang, so it's quite dark. So I have this light here, which just has a Sansi bulb in it, and it helps throw light onto these beautiful babies. Now here is my Melanochrysum. I've had this Melanochrysum for so long. Now granted, she was pretty much a wet stick when I got her, and I had her growing in my IKEA greenhouse cabinet, and she seemed to like that. So once she got a little more established, I decided to take her out, and I put her into this pot with a moss pole. So I'm hoping that the moss pole will encourage her to put out bigger leaves. And she's just in a potting mix. Actually, I think there may be two in here now, because I did buy one at Valley View Nurseries. Here we have another anthurium, and this one I imported, and I always get these, I always mix the clarinervium up with, what's this one, crystallinum. This is the crystallinum, and I'm not sure what's going on with her. I don't want to interfere too much. You can see she has a dying leaf there. So she was out in my greenhouse, and again, my plants in my greenhouse get a bit neglected, so I decided to bring her in here. So hopefully we'll get a bit more growth on her soon. Here we have my variegated Friedeck. Look at that leaf. My Friedeck, my regular Friedeck is my pride and joy, but I just love this plant. So my friend Tatum gave this to me. Now the only issue with it is it puts out one variegated leaf and one green leaf. So I'm hoping that she will eventually stabilize. I think this one is a green one. Yeah, so this leaf here is green, and you can see typical of a Friedeck, it takes a while for her to hold on to more than 1 or 2 leaves. But she is gorgeous. But she does not compare to this baby. This is my regular Friedeck. And everybody that comes into my house, whether they're a plant lover or not, love this plant. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She has 8 leaves. She is doing terrifically. Let me see if I can give you a feel of how big she is. It's a bit dark in here today, guys. Lighting is always an issue for me. But I'm hoping that you can see her there. She is absolutely beautiful. And she is putting out some babies. There are some corms down there that are starting to put out new leaves now. This is definitely the easiest plant. I have never had any issues with her. I have had spider bites, mind you, but I think we can see there that she's perfectly clear today. And she does like a little bit extra water. I do water her. I do try and keep her soil, you know, well, not so much that I like to keep it moist, but I don't let her dry out too much. So there is my Alocasia Friedeck, and she is stunning. This here is a Hoya, and I'm not sure which one she is. There's so many of them that are alike, and I think it might be the Reneoenses. Oh, I just lost a leaf off of her. Okay, so this is the Syngonium white ribbon, and I just think, isn't she beautiful? There are 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 8 leaves on this one stem, and I imported this from Indonesia. She wasn't overly expensive when I imported her, but I see that she has gone up in price. Sorry, Penny is barking at nothing. Oh, she sees a squirrel. This is the Syngonium podophyllum white ribbon. So this here is probably my favorite Syngonium. This is the green splash, and I just love this plant. Now, she was expensive. I imported her, and but she's definitely one that you don't see a lot of, and I just think her markings are absolutely gorgeous. I love her, and she seems to be happy enough in this window. Like I say, if I had brighter light, I'm sure these would all be a lot bigger, but they're perfectly happy. This here is another podophyllum ribbon, and this is the green one. So you can see she's not putting out like the amount of leaves that the white one puts out, but she has thrown out this long vine. Oops, sorry, my strap was caught there. She's thrown out this long vine, and you can see there's lots of leaves on the vine. I may just chop her up and propagate her, but she doesn't seem to get as many leaves as my white ribbon. So the podophyllum green ribbon. Here we have my batik. Now this is not my original batik. I actually sold my original batik, and I'm kind of sorry I did, because the leaves on my original one were really gorgeous. Although these are beautiful as well, but I think my original one actually had a nicer leaf, and I just kind of jumped the gun and sold it. But anyway, it is a very beautiful batik. It is a very beautiful Syngonium, the Syngonium batik. And you can see actually she needs to be attached. I just have like a bamboo stick in there, but she does actually need to be attached a little bit better, I think. Here is the Syngonium mojito. So you can see here she had very typical mojito leaves when I got her, but now the leaves are doing something peculiar. They're very white. Do you see them? So I thought maybe is it diseased. I'm not sure what is going on with it. But like there's a huge difference. So these are all the new leaves, much whiter, and this is the old leaf. So if anybody has any ideas, please tell me, but I don't know. I actually am not sure if it has some sort of a virus. But I mean, they are cute. I do like the new leaves. They're very pretty, but they just look so different from what I expected a mojito to look like. So the Syngonium mojito. Here we have the Syngonium army. She is lovely. Look at her leaves. Lovely markings on the leaf. And she's growing away nicely. There's one with a little less dark on it. I do like Syngoniums, well obviously because this window's full of Syngoniums, but it is a species that I actually do really enjoy. I think she's, you know, I think the leaves of Syngonium are very interesting. And I love this one. Oh, I nearly forgot to show you this baby. This is just a little Syngonium that I picked up from Valley View Gardens. Let me see, can I get her to... Look at the pink on her. Isn't she gorgeous? She was like, I think $3 or something like that. Now I do need to repot her into a bigger pot, but I just thought she was so cute. And I picked her up to add her to my Syngonium window. Okay, so here we have my Philodendron glorious. Yes, it is glorious, yes. So Paula gave me this as a one leaf cutting, and she loves life. Look at her here. I did have her, I did have her in my IKEA cabinet, and I moved her out here. I do actually need to probably attach her to this pole to give her a little bit of stability, but she is putting out a new leaf there. Can you see? And I'm just so happy that this leaf didn't die, and it's just so cute. And we could probably do with a bit of cleaning. Was that dust on it? There's probably just dust on it, but look, isn't she gorgeous? Now here, guys, this is my beautiful Florida Beauty. I love this. So I have her in pawn. I imported her from Indonesia, and I really wanted one of these. Now this leaf I think might just turn out to be all yellow, and I guess we'll just have to wait. It's still a waiting game. It hasn't fully hardened off, but I'm not really seeing variegation on her. But we do have another new leaf coming there, and we will see what that one gives as well. If I get a couple of white leaves or yellow leaves, whatever color you call it, I will cut it. But this was the leaf prior to that one. So I think in my care I got this leaf, which is stunning, this leaf, which is a little wonky, and this leaf. So the Philodendron Florida Beauty. Down here we have the Philodendron Florida Ghost. Now, because it doesn't get amazing light, the leaves are not very white, but she will eventually benefit from this grow light here, which is the Sansi. So I'm hoping once she gets bigger, the leaves will get whiter. So I love this plant, and she's a great grower. And this corner is quite dark, and she's still happily putting out beautiful leaves. So the Philodendron Florida Ghost. And of course, we couldn't have a video without talking about my, let me go try and get a better light there. Monstera dubia. Let me go in closer so you can see her leaves. She is gorgeous. Now, you can see she's got new leaves there. She was much bigger, and she was growing off this piece of wood, but she was going wonky. So I cut her, and I thought the leaves would go back small again, but you can see they didn't. These two are a nice size. They haven't attached yet. I may put some tape there, but isn't she beautiful? My Monstera dubia. I love this piece of wood. Let me stand back and show you. I know you probably see this in a lot of my videos, but it truly is gorgeous. I love it. This here is my Variegata spathiphyllum. So I imported this from Thailand, oh gosh, probably a year and a half or 2 years ago. And she was called the Wallisii, but I have seen lots of other variegated spathiphyllum coming on the market, and although some leaves look a little bit different, they all tend to end up looking like this. So I'm not sure if they're all the same or if there are different varieties. But she loves it in spite of being neglected, because this plant needs a lot of water. But she is really, really cute, isn't she? And her flowers, when she does put them out, are green as opposed to white in the domino and the plain one. I do have a domino. I'm not crazy about the green ones, but I do love the domino and the variegated one. So this here is my batik, and I was a huge fan of batiks back in the day, and I still think the leaf is really, really pretty. Sorry, you can hear my husband going out there, but I don't like the growth pattern of her. So I'm thinking I might take a cutting here and try and root this and put it back in the pot. Can you see, she just kind of doesn't have a nice form. Although the leaves are beautiful, and I know a lot of people are not crazy about this plant, I do think the leaves are still beautiful. But like I say, I'm not crazy about her growth pattern. So we'll try and make some improvements there. Nearly forgot this beauty. Here we have an alocasia. What is her name again? I can't think of the name. But she is very, very beautiful. I did actually vacuum again. You know me with a vacuum. I get the vacuum out to get the dirt off the windowsill. My little Christmas tree fell on her and there was glitter all over the floor, and I took the vacuum out to mop up the glitter, and I took a chunk out of her leaf. But here, isn't she just very striking? You don't see a lot of this plant. I don't think there are a lot of her kicking around, but I actually bought her in Canada. I can't remember which nursery I bought her from, but I had to have her shipped. But isn't she gorgeous? Absolutely beautiful. Now we have one of my IKEA cabinets. So I call this my retro, and look at fingerprints on the door. I do need to clean it. My apologies. So in my retro cabinet, it is mainly Hoya. There is a Bella variegated. There is my Caudata. Isn't she gorgeous? She's so big now. And I always forget the name of this, Burmanica. That is my Burmanica. I did take cuttings of her. They are rooting in here to bulk her out. That's a Fua ensis. This is the Hoya Louise that I got from Tony from Quirky Lemon, and look at how many leaves she's putting out. There is actually a leaf in the back there. Oh no, sorry, I thought that was from her. That's actually from my Caudata. But there is a new leaf in the back there, which you can't really see. This is the David Camungii that she gave me. The Hoya Russell. And what is this one again? Is this, I think, what is this? Oh, Paula gave me this. I can't really read it there. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's so pretty. Do you see it? Isn't she gorgeous? Such a beauty. This is Oliniana. They're the Burmanica cuttings that I took. This here is my Ache, and she's actually putting out a new leaf. And her leaves almost have an iridescent sheen to them, which is really gorgeous. And you can see there she's putting out a new leaf. And these are cuttings that I took of what? I'm not sure if it's my Finlaysonii or my Vitellinoides. It would have been clever had I labelled them. I think that's actually the Vitellinoides. And here we have another Hoya that I got from Quirky Lemon. And this is the, oh, she's struggling. Okay, I gotta figure out what's going on here. Look at these leaves are falling off. I wonder, does she have root rot? So I'll have to check into that. Flagellata, that's the Hoya Flagellata. That is the cutting of the, that's a cutting, another cutting I got from Quirky Lemon. This here is the Hoya Wilbur Graves. This is the China. No, sorry, this is the Russia. Can you see that there? This one comes from Russia. And I also have the China one. Back there is a Callistophylla. Isn't she gorgeous? And this here, I actually showed you this recently in my video. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at her. She's growing up the back there. I better pull her down so she doesn't damage the leaves. She really likes to travel, this one. I don't want to break any leaves because I know she's putting out new leaves. This here is the AH074. And then back there is an anthurium that I got from my friend Tatum, and I'm afraid I don't know. I believe it's a hybrid, but I'm not sure what it's a hybrid of. And back there is a latifolia, which I think might have mites, because you can see there. Let's zoom in. Can you see all the bumpy stuff going on? So I am constantly treating her with sulfur. Okay, so there is my first IKEA cabinet. Oh, and on top there is a Deciduous watermelon there. So here is my other IKEA cabinet. So I have two in this room, just to show you. There's one either side of my buffet. So I have a lot of cuttings in here. That could be either a Vitellinoides or a Finlaysonii, I'm not sure. And this one here in the back, you can see it's putting out two new leaves. I am not sure what this is. I'm suspecting it's some sort of a Variegata, or Variegata, I think it's called, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm hoping I can... This here is the Balensis Splash. Look at her, isn't she gorgeous? These plants are all so easy, guys. They're no work at all. Here's a cutting of my Hoya Grey Ghost, and I'm sure she's probably, yeah, she's rooting up. The Balensis wants to steal the limelight there. I don't know if you can see there, but she is rooting up. Again, more cuttings. This here is, I think she's been reclassified as, is it a latifolia? I'm not sure what she's been reclassified as. It used to be the Parasitica heartleaf. Isn't she gorgeous? So I have quite a large one of her in my kitchen. So these are just cuttings. There's the Lacanosa Black, I think it was called. I lost a lot of it, so that's all that's left of it. This here, guys, I can never pronounce the name of this. It begins with a K. I'll put it on the screen, but look at her flower. Isn't she gorgeous? So she has another one back there. She's working on another one. Just, can you see there? I'm not sure how she smells like. There's no, I can't get any scent. All I can smell in here is actually sulfur. And then this is the Finlaysonii that I treated with the sulfur. And she did, like, she's putting out leaves, but they keep dying. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'm going to transfer this into Pon. I've had that Finlaysonii for such a long time, and she's just not doing anything. This is another Finlaysonii. Gorgeous. Isn't she beautiful? Down here we have the Meredithii, and look, she's put out two new leaves. She took the longest time. Paula gave her to me as a one-leaf cutting, and like, she literally did nothing for months. And then she took off, and she's put out these two beautiful leaves. Here is that fabulous Carnosa round leaf that I got from Tony from Quirky Lemon, and I absolutely love it. I did take a cutting of it because it was struggling a little bit, so I wanted to make sure I didn't lose this because I am totally enamored by it. Here are my cuttings of my Nicholsonii New Guinea Ghost that I took in one of my videos recently. Just beautiful. There's cuttings of my Clemensorium. I love my Clemensorium. I just, like, her leaves are very thick and very Jurassic looking, but I just love this plant. So there we have my IKEA cabinet number 2. And there is a Peperomia Hope growing there. She's not doing great, but I just stuck her there because I had nowhere else to put her. Here's a Cebu Blue that's not doing great because she really isn't getting enough light, but she's not dying, and my hope was that she would grow up this piece of wood, but she's been here so long now and really hasn't attached, so I might move her and put her in my kitchen. So this Cebu Blue, I think she's such a beautiful plant. So here, gosh, I don't know how long ago I did a video where I put these shutters in my dining room on this wall, and I grew my Mandula pothos on her. And look at my Mandula pothos, guys. She is stunning. Now, she did attach to the wall, but I did unattach her because I don't want to damage the drywall. So then I just kind of turned her around and hung her down. There's actually two cuttings in here, and this cutting actually has attached. Can you see? This cutting actually has attached to the shutter, so I'm hoping that maybe this one will give me even bigger leaves, and I probably will need to repot her soon. But there is my Mandula Pothos on my shutter. Here's my Ripsalis. I think this one's called Lovely Bones or something like that. Look at her. And she's doing great here. Like, the only light this part of the room gets is actually from this lamp, and it has a grow bulb in it, but just a Canadian Tire one. It's just one of those, you know, those $5 Canadian Tire bulbs. So look how well they're doing. It just shows you guys, you don't always need the most expensive grow lights. Here is my ZZ. Again, doesn't get a huge amount of light, but obviously doesn't need a lot of light. Quite happy. And then here we have my Adansonii, which I actually have in Pawn. And she too, let's go up here, has grown up the shutter nicely. I did again take her off the wall. She hadn't quite attached, but I knew she was heading in that direction. So I, again, didn't want her to attach to the wall. But there she is, growing happily. I would love to replace this with a variegated Adansonii on this shutter. So maybe someday if I get one, I'll do that. And then last, oh no, I have other Hoyas in the window. And here is my Hoya Curtisii, guys. Look at this plant, how long she is. She is just, I think that Curtisii is probably one of the fastest growing Hoyas around. So there is my Curtisii and my Adansonii. So I just have them here on, again, a $5 Canadian Tire bulb. So here we have my Calistophylla. Isn't she beautiful? And she flowers a lot. She's absolutely gorgeous. This here, I have to get the name of this. It's something Marginata. I'll have to look up the name of this one, guys. I can't quite remember it at the moment. Here we have my Polyneura. This is my green Polyneura. And she's actually very happy in this window. The Polyneura doesn't like it to be too bright. So this is just perfect for her. They do get a little bit of light from these puck lights up here, and they do get nice morning light. It's not too bright, so it's just perfect for the Polyneura. And I have her in Pawn in a self-watering pot. This here is my Hoya Fusco Marginata, and I love this plant. I did just propagate her and I took a leaf off of her. I do have another one actually that I may add to it, but she is such a pretty plant. I love that the dark margins. It might be hard for you to see it up here, but it does have lovely dark margins, and actually it's really dusty. I can feel the dust on it. So it's the Hoya Fusco Marginata. Here we have my Hoya Elliptica. I'm sorry that the lighting isn't great. I'm trying to get the best vantage point here, but I hope you can see her. So this is my Hoya Elliptica, and she also blooms. You can see there's peduncles there, and she has been blooming. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you watched until the end, don't forget to put the green heart emoji in the comments, and thank you so much for giving me time out of your busy day. Take care, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you're celebrating. I hope you have a wonderful time.